In early 2018, I decided to make a documentary feature film about two political economists. I was incredibly naive and had crazy expectations. I thought it would go on Netflix, watched by hundreds of thousands. Also, I had never made a documentary before. Now, 6.5 years later, I'm on a ship to Iceland because the Icelandic government invited me to do the premiere of that film in Reykjavik. Here's how that happened. When I met Catherine Trebek and Lorenzo Fioramonti, I realized that their story was so important, so huge, it had to be told. Their plan, which I'm absurdly simplifying now, let us change our economies before they kill us. Us as in us, humanity. Let us create well-being economies. My friend Nick and I simply started rolling our cameras, even though we had never done anything like this before. The shoot was a bit of a crazy dream. 2 incredibly inspired and fun years. Our protagonists went places. Lorenzo even became a minister. A production company came on board. Everything looked like it would turn into gold.
Yeah, it's good. Thumbs up for this place.
And free drink refills.
Nice.
We were even lucky with the pandemic. Just before it began, we wrapped shooting. And then the problems began. We had gigabytes of footage. And now I needed to tell a complex story about the economy and 2 remarkable people with this material. There was no money for an editor, so my pandemic job became editing the film by myself. On my laptop, supported long distance with endless patience by my co-producer Jan-Peter Heusermann. When we were finally done editing, we had the rough cut. A film that told the complete story, but that still needed post-production before it could be shown in public. Speaking of public, there was one thing I had not done. When you're making a documentary no one has asked you to make, no one is ready to show it. Usually, filmmakers only start filming once they find partners that will finance and show their film. But I hadn't done that. So after 4 years of hard work, our rough cut seemed to die on the vine. We could not get it onto TV stations or streamers, because none of these companies had co-produced it. And the large film festivals are totally overrun. It felt like I had wasted years of my life. I had to do something, so I reached out to the Wellbeing Economy Alliance, an organization that works towards creating well-being economies, and I talked to them about organizing screenings. They said we could ask the Icelandic government if they want to show it at their Wellbeing Economy Forum in June 2024, a conference about these themes. You see, the small nation of Iceland is actually a world leader when it comes to the well-being economy. So Jan-Peter and I went back to work. We even shot some new material and we updated the film. After 4 months, we showed a new version to the people in Iceland. A few days later, our wonderful partner in Reykjavik, Ellen Hurst, confirmed via video conference that the premiere will happen. She said the film will be a highlight of the forum. So I got on this ship to Iceland. You see, I don't fly. But then this trip turned out to be a rollercoaster ride, just like the whole production had been. First of all, I got really seasick. I'll spare you the details. Next, the premiere of the film is in Reykjavik, of course. But this ferry arrives on the other end of the island. In Reykjavik, I met my friend Mez and we did a bit of sightseeing. He's also a well-being economy pioneer. This is Mez. Mez, what are you doing?
Doing the only thing possible to do in this scenery. Something really important. I'm debating on Twitter, okay? Or X. It can't wait.
It's because you're right and they're wrong? And just when we were having a good time, the European election results came in. In my country, Germany, the country where Adolf Hitler and the Nazis began their horrific reign, a fascist party has become the second strongest party in the European election. I mean, at the end of the day, there's nothing else I can do than just to continue the work, telling the story of my film. And maybe once we have an economy that works for people on the planet, we're not going to have fucking fascist regimes anymore. The next day, I saw my two protagonists again. I hadn't seen Catherine in years. And then, finally, the forum began.
This morning, our government allowed the killing of 128 fin whales this summer. Whales are the nutrient pumps of the oceans, and we are killing them. I am ashamed of that.
I was asked to speak at Wall Street. And I don't think they quite understood what was going to hit them when they asked me to do so, but we felt that it was important to go and speak to Wall Street, to bring on board the financial sector, to make them understand that uncontrolled growth and the current over-financialized economy is crowdfunding disaster.
Yeah, so we're all good to go for tonight. I'm a little nervous, I have to say, because apparently due to last-minute scheduling conflicts, they had to schedule a dinner with the Prime Minister of Iceland for some of the more important, guests and speakers of the forum at 7 o'clock in the evening tonight. And the screening here is supposed to start at 7:30. So, a dinner that takes an hour and a half probably. So some of those important people can't be here, unfortunately. My two protagonists, Catherine and Lorenzo, the protagonists in the film, and I'm really grateful to them, they said that they will leave that dinner and be here in time. And then for everyone else, we'll just have to wait and see, right? So fingers crossed. After all these ups and downs, I think I can say now that people really enjoyed watching Purpose. I think the film works. I think it does what it's supposed to do, and that's a huge relief. Makes me really happy. Now comes the next job, and that's getting it out there, getting it in front of people's eyes, getting it seen, and promoting it. And I'll need all the help I can get with that. So if you are interested in helping, please do. I've set up a newsletter for this. You'll find it under updates.purpose.film. You can subscribe there. I'll reach out very soon. I look forward to working with you on this and getting Purpose out into the world and starting the conversation about what the purpose of our economies is and how we can change it to save us, to save our democracies and the planet.